जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रजजन रञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रजजन रञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजन रञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजन रञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी। यमुनातीरवनचारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। सूतवाच एवं निशम्य भगवान् देवर्षिर्जन्म कर्म च भूय पप्रच्छ तं ब्रह्मन् व्यास सत्यवती सुतः। सूतवाच एवं निशम्य भगवान् देवर्षिर्जन्म कर्म च भूय पप्रच्छ तं ब्रह्मन् व्यास सत्यवती सुतः। एवं निशम्य भगवान् देवर्षि जन्म कर्म च भूय प्रपच्छ तं ब्रह्मन् व्यासः सत्यवती सुतः। सूतवाच एवं निशम्य भगवान् देवर्षिर्जन्म कर्म च भूय पप्रच्छ तं ब्रह्मन् व्यासः सत्यवती सुतः। Anybody online wants to read? Yes, Mataji. Sutavacha. Evam nishamya Bhagavan Devarshir Janma Karma Cha Bhuya Paprachatam Brahman Vyasaha Satyavati Sutaha. Word by word. Sutavacha. Suta said, Evam, thus, Nishamya, hearing, Bhagavan, the powerful incarnation of God, Devarshihi, of the great sage among the gods, Janma, birth, Karma, work, Cha, and, Bhuya, again, Papracha, asked, Tam, him, Brahman, O Brahmanas, Vyasaha, Vyasadev, Satyavati Sutta, the son of Satyavati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sutta said, O Brahmanas, thus hearing all about Sri Narada's birth and activities, Vyasadev, the incarnation of God and son of Satyavati, inquired as follows. Purport. Vyasadev was further inquisitive to know about the perfection of Naradji, and therefore he wanted to know about him more and more. In this chapter, Naradji will describe how he was able to have a brief audience with the Lord while he was absorbed in the transcendental thought of separation from the Lord and when it was very painful for him. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatambitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati. Vyasasana and speak anything about this subject matter. But it is just a service that has been given, and as I always say, because of that we are forced to read something, refer something, put some effort. Otherwise, in this age and the occupation we are in, there was just not possible. The time would have been absorbed in all other things, But His Grace Madan Sundar Prabhuji has forced us to give these classes, and hence there needs to be a dedicated effort put in, and that is His mercy, that He wants us to really spend some time and prepare something. So okay, good. So today we are starting with this new chapter number 6 of Canto 1, and up till now, very briefly, what has happened, very briefly, that Vyasdev is despondent, Narad Muni, and he is thinking about what is the reason Narad Muni arrives there. He gives him the reason. I mean, Vyasdev was, he almost thought about it, and then Narad Muni comes and reconfirms the reason why he is important, right? And in this chapter now Narad Muni would describe about what happens after he was initiated by the Bhaktivedantas. So I will just give a very brief overview of what is going to happen in this chapter. So from verse 1 to 4, Vyasadeva will inquire about Narad Muni's life and how exactly he got this body and how he can remember his past life. Okay, that is going to be the questions by Vyasadeva. Then Narada would speak about his mother's departure and how he took this as the mercy of Lord. A very beautiful verse over there. Then 11 to 19, Narada as a boy's life, where all he travels, what all he sees, and then how he gets the vision of the Lord and then he loses the vision. Okay, that is described. Then from 20 to 25, then instruction from the Lord to Narada the boy is given. So again, very beautiful section. Then 26 to 33 verse, how Narad Muni got the present spiritual body that he has and how he travels everywhere singing the glories of the Lord on his veena. So that is described. And then 34 to 38, which is the last section, Narada concludes by instructing about the most suitable boat to cross this material world, and then after giving this instruction he departs. So this is the brief overview of what we are going to discuss in this chapter number 6, right? So now coming back to today's verse, now though this verse is like the beginning of this chapter, number 6, the verse itself and the purport given by Prabhupada brings out some important aspect. So probably we will try to discuss that. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that Vyasadeva was inquisitive. Vyasadeva inquires about what happens, or he is inquiring to Narad Muni, what next. Right? So this brings to an important part or important aspect of or an important topic related to questions itself. What is the importance of questions? Right? Let's spend some time in this aspect. Now, there is a very very beautiful and very rarely heard pastime of Srila Prabhupada, where Srila Prabhupada is met someone who is materially and spiritually senior to Prabhupada. Do you know about this? Okay. So it was when Srila Prabhupada met with a person called Lalit Prasad Thakur, right? Lalit Prasad Thakur is the youngest son of Bhakti Vinod Thakur and the younger brother of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this happened when Srila Prabhupada met him. He was 96 years old. He is the direct disciple of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And Srila Prabhupada and Lalit Prasad were discussing about the the future of the house where Bhakti Vinod Thakur took birth. Okay. Now what happened is Lalit Prasad, due to some reason, he had to cancel the some agreement, and he said that that development will not happen, and this disturbed Srila Prabhupada a lot. Now then Srila Prabhupada, in a very stern voice, and please listen carefully, he asked to Lalit Prasad. What did he say exactly? I mean, of course he spoke in Bengali, but he said, "Isn't it sinful that you cannot develop the birthplace of Bhakti Vinod Thakur and you don't want anyone else to do it either?" He said, "Isn't it sinful that you cannot develop the birthplace of Bhakti Vinod Thakur and you don't want anyone else also to do either?" Now Prabhupada intensely spoke this sentence, same question 4 to 5 times to Lalit Prasad, and every time he was speaking, he was making his voice a little louder. Okay. Now His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj was personally present when this happened. So what he says is that Prabhupada was not shouting, but he was just one level below that, his voice. So now this entire experience, this Prabhupada disciples were also there. They had quite respect and reverence for Lalit Prasad, being direct disciple of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, younger brother of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And they had reverence. So they were all little confused how to react, what to. They had some kind of a devotion or kind of a affection also for Lalit Prasad. So Prabhupada understood that, that devotees, what they must be thinking, and while coming out of the door, he stopped and he said something very remarkable, very a statement that he made, which resolved all the concerns that the devotees had in their mind. Right? What did he say? He said that because I asked a question, there is no offense. He said, because I asked a question, there is no offense. He did not say you are doing a sin by not. What did he say? Isn't it a sin? Right? He asked it. So the point is, because I asked a question, Prabhupada said in his own words, there is no offense. Right? Of course, I mean, there is. He was not shouting at all, but even if you are, so what we have to learn is, even if you are obviously right in certain situations when dealing with your seniors, it is always better to take shelter of the questions. Right? This is the learning from this incident. Right? You have to understand, see, let us understand. First of all, this is like a very, very rare situation where Srila Prabhupada is dealing with somebody who is his senior, right? And Srila Prabhupada as a junior is expressing his disagreement, right, with an authority. Now, with us also, there may be sometimes a situation where we have a disagreement with our authority, with our seniors, right? But the best way to go ahead in such cases and to avoid offenses is to take the shelter of question. So that is why I wanted to elaborate this, the importance of questions. Now, let us understand a little more about questions. What type of questions one should ask? One should ask questions which help us in our own spiritual progress. That is one, right? And other thing is, when you are asking a question, it should basically empower the speaker to elaborate on that topic, right? On the subject for which you want more details, right? So, don't need to, you can only hear, it's okay. Don't need to search if it is not shared. Uddhava, being well aware of all these technicalities of transcendental science, advised Vidura to approach Maitreya Rishi to receive transcendental knowledge. Vidura wanted to accept Uddhava as his spiritual master, but Uddhava did not accept the post because Vidura was old as Uddhava's father, and therefore Uddhava could not accept him as his disciple, right? Especially when Maitreya was present nearby. The rule is that in the presence of higher personality, one should not be very eager to impart instructions, even if one is competent and well versed. So this is Maryada Vyatikrama that one should avoid. So this is applicable for the speaker as well as for the person sitting in the audience. Now, what types of questions one should ask? Very, very straightforward answer for this. What types of questions? In Srimad Bhagavatam 10:1-16, not possible, this is not working today. Okay. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:1-16, I will just read out so you may not repeat. Vasudeva katha prashna purusham strini punatihi vaktaram prachakam strotram tatpada shalilam yatha. So direct answer to this question is translation: the Ganges emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu purifies the three worlds, the upper, middle and lower planetary systems. Similarly, when one asks questions about the pastimes and characteristics of Lord Vasudeva Krishna, three varieties of men are purified. Who are the three varieties? The speaker or the preacher, one who is inquiring or he who inquires, and the people in general who listen. So all the three gets purified. So such questions should be asked, right, which purifies everyone. Now coming back to that point of comments, are comments really forbidden, fully forbidden? No. Comments also has its own place. It can be given to equals and post the class where you can make the subject matter more complete. So that is that also has its place. So it has to be very judicially used and not very often. Now again coming back to our topic of the importance of questions, right? So let us now discuss some questions that have been asked by great personalities. So we see in our scriptures the scriptures are full of questions, right? It is all question and answers. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of question and answers. Bhagavad Gita is full of question and answers. So Parikshit Maharaj asked this question to the assembled sages. So we don't have this shared content today. I was expecting it will be shared. So it is 1:19:24. Srimad Bhagavatam 1:19:24. Okay, Zoom page. Fine. So I will directly read the translation. O trustworthy Brahmanas, I now ask you about my immediate duty. Please, after proper deliberation, tell me of the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically of those who are just about to die. And this is the question we will be discussing in future. But this is the question, this is the type of the level of question that Parikshit Maharaj asked. And what is the characteristic of this question? The characteristic of this question is that it is not specifically meant for one person or focused at a particular person's situation. It is applicable to the general mass. So when such questions are asked which is beneficial and applicable to the general mass of people, then these questions are glorious, right? So you see this question from Parikshit Maharaj, right? Now if you come back in this verse, we are discussing Vyasadeva as a disciple of Narada Muni, right? He is eager and inquisitive to ask about Narad Muni's life. What happened? How did Narad Muni became Narad Muni, right? So one in his own position also should be very eager and inquisitive about understanding his own spiritual master's life and what kind of difficulties or what kind of situations his spiritual master has gone through, right? It is very important. So there is a word mentioned in this shloka called papracha. If you see this our current verse, it is mentioned which means asked or inquired, right? But there is also something called as Saddharma Pracha. Have you heard about this? Saddharma Pracha. Yeah. So the definition of that Saddharma Pracha, is like this: the desire to inquire from the spiritual master is an essential factor to progressive path. This process is technically known as Saddharma Pracha. So it is a process, Saddharma Pracha. What it is? The desire to inquire from spiritual master, and which is a factor, essential factor to the progressive path of a disciple. Now if you see in our scriptures, again there are many examples. If you see Rahugana asking questions to Jadabharat about what he asked is how did you become so advanced? One of the questions, right? And then Jadabharat describes his past 3 lives to him. Similarly, if friends of Prahlad Maharaj asked Prahlad Maharaj, they were inquisitive. They were said that you are prince, you are a prince. You would have never gone outside of this palace, and you have 24 hours Z security with you. So how is it possible that you met a Vaishnava and you are able to speak such philosophy, right? So then Prahlad Maharaj says about that In the womb of my mother itself, when I was there, I was instructed by Narad Muni. Right? Similarly, Prabhupada disciples also asked Prabhupada about so many things, about Prabhupada's childhood, about his boyhood, about his college, about his business, about how he managed to travel to US, how he spent his initial years. So all, after knowing all this, the disciples, after knowing the difficulties or the situations through which the spiritual master went through, the disciples, and Prabhupada says this, the disciples themselves get that inspiration that we can also be develop that attitude, and we can also tolerate the situations which are not very congenial to us, right? So that gives the courage and inspiration to tolerate inconveniences to the disciples. Even those who are disciples of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj and who are aspiring, and those who got kind of a face-to-face association in those initial days, asked Maharaj about how he spent his time in New Vrindavan, right? So I was hearing His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu, and he was mentioning that His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was there at Jaydev Prabhu's house, and Radheshyam Prabhu asked this question about how he spent his time from 1971 to 1979. He spent his time in New Vrindavan, and I think we all know how difficult it was in that place. And then Radheshyam Prabhu asked that how he spent after that, what happened after 1979, right? So then Maharaj explained that after 1979 he started his college preaching. They had some kind of an auto kind of a vehicle which was open from both sides, and they used to put all the vessels that they had on top of that auto, tie it with kind of a nylon rope, and go from college to college, preaching. So that was their daily, and in the afternoon period they used to cook, get some place and cook the whole afternoon, and then evening they used to distribute prasadana. So Maharaj was explaining all this, then Maharaj also went ahead and explained about how they had some solid college preaching. They had they targeted 4 to 5 colleges, and in 2 of these colleges they had almost 40 to 50 boys who were attending regularly the programs, right? And then they had started chanting also from 4 rounds to 8 rounds to 10 rounds, 12 rounds, right? He also mentioned about one Christian teacher in one of the college who got envious and asked to cancel the program, and all these boys, 50 boys, they protested and then revived the program again. So all these details Maharaj was mentioning. And when the college preaching was at the peak, right, in 1986, Maharaj was asked to travel to India. Right? So Maharaj was saying that then he had to agree to the authorities, because he was at the peak. He was about to start a community of those boys, and had a lot of plans to cultivate these boys further. But then the authorities asked Maharaj to move to India. So he came to Mumbai in 1986. So the point is, when we hear about our own spiritual master, about the difficult times that he has gone through, the challenges that the spiritual master has faced, and when we ask such questions, that gives us also the inspiration to follow in this path, right? Otherwise we are in our own comfortable world, right? So lot of other examples. Any other examples you know where disciples have asked questions to their spiritual masters about the spiritual master's life? Anybody can think of anything inspiring? See, one more example is of His Holiness Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj. When we hear about how he developed the Bhubaneswar temple, it's so inspiring, right? We hear about Juhu temple, the story of Juhu temple, what difficulties the devotees, Srila Prabhupada went through that is so inspiring. So these questions, so this is all Sadharma Pracha, that's what we are discussing. Right? Now coming back to questions asked by great personalities. So one more and today being Gaur Purnima, I think we definitely should discuss something about from Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? So we have a very famous question asked by Sanatan Goswami to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in CC Madhya Leela 20.102, okay, so it goes like this: Ke ami kene amaya jar tapatraya iha nahi jane ke mana hitahaya. That is a question. Translation is: who am I? Why do the threefold miseries always give me trouble? If I do not know this, how can I be benefited? Now Sanatan Goswami is such an elevated, he's an elevated personality. He knows the Shastras so well. He is asking this question to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why he is asking this question? Again, going back to Parikshit Maharaj's question, right, earlier that we discussed. It is not for his own benefit, it is for the benefit of the general mass. Right? This is a question for everybody. So, and that is why the question becomes glorious. And what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reply? That is in, again, Madhya Leela 20, 108, 109, but we will read 108, which is a very famous verse. Mahaprabhu replied, Jivera Swarupa hai, Krishnera Nityadas, Krishnera Tatastha Shakti, Bheda Bheda Prakash. Right? So, translation is, it is the living entity's constitutional position to be an eternal servant of Krishna, because he is the marginal energy of Krishna and a manifestation simultaneously one with and different from the Lord. Right? So, today being the most auspicious day of Gaur Purnima, let us pray to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right, to bestow all of us with the intelligence to ask the right questions, which can inspire and benefit all of us, so that we can be a humble instrument in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Right? So with this, I would like to take a pause. We'll give a very quick recap, and after that I would also like to do one small bhajan on occasion of Gaur Purnima. Right? So, recap very quickly. We started with a brief overview of what is coming in this chapter number 6. Right? How Narada, the boy, after initiation travels, meditates, gets a vision of the Lord, loses a vision of the Lord, and then how eventually he gets the present spiritual body. Then we discussed about the importance of questions in itself and in our life, and we discussed about the Srila Prabhupada incident with Lalit Prasad. Then we also discussed about questions versus comments, right? A brief discussion, and about Maryada Vyatikrama, right, for the audience as well as for the speaker. And then we briefly discussed about some glorious questions that have been asked by great personalities in our scriptures, and then we concluded with the topic of Sadharma Pracha and some examples of Sadharma Pracha. Right? So we'll conclude here. We'll have a very short bhajan on occasion of Gaur Purnima today, and then we can open it up for questions, if any, on the topic of questions. कौन सा भजन? 1 second. We'll sing Jai Jai Jagannath. Okay, before the bhajan, I like to read out the translation and then we go with the bhajan. So, all glories to dear son of Jagannath Mishra and Sachidev, Devi, all the three worlds offer prayers unto his lotus feet. In Nilachal he holds a conch shell, disc, club and lotus flower, while in the town of Nadia he holds a sannyasi staff and water pot. It is said that in olden times as Lord Ramchandra he killed the demon Ravan, then later as Lord Krishna he revealed the splendorously opulent pastimes of Golok. It is he has come, oh, from Braja he has come to Nadia, accepting the mood and lustre of Sri Radha. He has come from Braja to Nadia. He has come, now Lord Govinda, the cowherd boy, he has come as Lord Gauranga. He has come distributing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Vasudev Ghosh says with folded hands, he who is Gaura is he who is Krishna, is he who is Jagannath. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद त्रिभुवन कोरे जाय चरण वंदन।
जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद त्रिभुवन कोरे जाय चरण वंदन।
जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद त्रिभुवन कोरे जाय चरण वंदन।
जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद त्रिभुवन कोरे जाय चरण वंदन।
नीलाचले शंख चक्र गदा पद्मधार नदिया नगारे दंड कमंडलुका। केहो बोले पूरबे रावण बदीला गोलोके वैभव लीला प्रकाश कोरीला।
केहो बोले पूरबे रावण बदीला गोलोके वैभव लीला प्रकाश कोरीला।
केहो बोले पूरबे रावण बदीला गोलोके वैभव लीला प्रकाश कोरीला।
केहो बोले पूरबे रावण बदीला गोलोके वैभव लीला प्रकाश कोरीला।
श्री राधार भावे बाघोरावतार हरे कृष्ण नाम गौरा कोरीला प्रचार।
श्री राधा भावे घोरावतार हरे कृष्ण नाम गौरा कोरीला प्रचार।
वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरी जोड़ा जय गौर सई कृष्ण सई जगन्नाथ।
वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरी जोड़ा जय गौर श्री कृष्ण श्री जगन्नाथ।
वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरी जोड़ा जय गौर सई कृष्ण सई जगन्नाथ।
वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरी जोड़ा जय गौर श्री कृष्ण श्री जगन्नाथ।
जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद त्रिभुवन कोरे जाय चरण वंदन।
जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद त्रिभुवन कोरे जाय चरण वंदन।
जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद त्रिभुवन Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama